So what am I going to talk about today? This one's less tech, less. I'm not going to talk about a specific technology and compare it to other ones, although there will be podcasts like that. This one is to talk a little bit about what I'm seeing some successful advisors do and some successful advisors not do, and it's harming them in the future, in my opinion. And by the way, I might have some opinions in this. I guess that's the whole point, right? The new money in every country, but I'll talk about Canada, is in Gen Z, millennials, younger people, 30 and younger. They're going to be the high net earners of tomorrow or of the next 20, 30 years. And a lot of advisors are struggling to capture those people. What do I do with them? How do I communicate with them? I don't really relate to them. They don't come to trade shows. They don't ask for advice from their parents. Like they're kind of these like solo runners that do what they want. How do I get to them? Right. And I hear this question come up a lot. I talk to a lot of advisors. A lot of people are struggling with this. And so in today's episode, I'm going to talk a little bit about what I'm seeing. I'm also going to talk about how to execute on it. Surprise, this is going to talk about doing some social media conversations with clients. I'll talk about how I've done it, talk about how I see some advisors doing it, some easy wins for you to achieve this, and we'll go from there. So it's probably no surprise that a lot of these younger generations are living on social media applications. Traditionally or these days, it's the big hitters. TikTok is a really big one. Instagram is also a really big one. There's also LinkedIn for like young professionals, so you can't forget about that one. But TikTok and Instagram are kind of these big heavy hitters, and when I say heavy hitters, it's like billions of monthly users on each of them. And over half, 60 some odd percent in the stats I see, are under 30 that are on those platforms. And there's some crazy stats out there I probably should have. Oh, yeah, I do actually. So 37% of Gen Z, so these younger people, trust TikTok for financial advice. And that's going to just keep climbing, right? I personally see it in relationships I have and people I know where they actually go to like they don't Google things anymore. They TikTok it. How do I make a recipe? What's the best time to invest my money? Where to invest my money? They check TikTok. And so whether you agree with that or not, that's the reality. That's where your future clients are. And so if you're trying to build your business for the future, that's what you need to understand. Now, it may be scary, it may not be, but a lot of these people actually watch these videos and trust these videos and act on these videos. So they could be as simple as like how to save money, what an RRSP is, what a TFSA is, things like that. And the interesting part in this is there's a lot of noise out there and a lot of people who don't know what the heck they're talking about and shouldn't be saying what they're saying. And so that should show as like an opportunity to people like yourself who actually do know what they're talking about and do know what they're saying to actually get on these platforms and help these young people. Because at the end of the day, they want to make more money, they want to grow their wealth, all of that stuff. And if they're on that platform trusting it, you might as well be there too. Right. And so the 2 that you should focus on, there's Instagram, TikTok are the 2 biggest. Now, they're very easy to set up accounts with. If you're gonna choose one and you're kinda like, "You know what, I just wanna start with one," I would say Instagram, it's a lot easier. You probably have a Facebook account. There's tons of people there looking for news, and there's all kinds of marketing and stuff you can do later on. But I would say make an Instagram account, get on there. You don't have to get fancy with it. It can just be your name. And then underneath that, you can actually put handles where it kind of says, so it'd be Massimo Yeni Roberto in my case. And then you can put like handles like the tech advisor guy or something. And so people can still find you. And at the end of the day, the thing to keep in mind is these younger generations want to trust someone like any human. Like trust is a big thing, especially when you're giving people money. And so you have to engage with them and build trust at an early stage. How do you do that? The easiest way in your head to think about these things is just to provide value. Just give them some value early on. I see a lot of people and don't expect anything back, right? At the end of these clips, and you can watch my clips, I've been doing this for a little while. At the end of these clips, you just kind of say, DM me if you have questions. Like, you're never asking them to buy your service or anything like that. It's just provide value without asking for any back. I think that's Hormozy or one of those guys who preaches on that, where it's just like provide value, provide value. Don't ask for it back. And at the end of the day, you will get it back because they build trust, then they give you their money, right? And so there's many technical ways to establish credibility on these platforms. What I would say is get on them, start with Instagram and maybe LinkedIn. You don't have to do all of them. If Instagram's just your main one, choose there. You can actually get verified on those platforms now for a small fee. I think it's like $8 to $15 a month. That's a credibility point. People trust you more. And then start focusing on content. It can be super simple, just videos of you once a day giving one useful tip. You just got to start getting out there. And the way I do this is I actually set aside one time per month where I load up a bunch of clips. Like, I just spend 4 hours just doing a bunch of them and I queue them up. And so whatever works for you, that's what works for me. But the reality is that's where these people are. And what you have to focus on is engaging content that is short but valuable. So a lot of this one tip, these 3 tips. Don't be scared of being confrontational, right? And so you can kind of say, well, this is what's costing you $20,000 over your lifetime. Or this one tip saved a client of mine 50 grand. Things like that, right? Catch their attention. They want meaningful or impactful attention grabbing headlines.